way so we don't scare off kinesthetic people. On the show today, happiness and problems of man. If you're following on Facebook, you will be able to dot your questions in the chat box. If you want to have fun, come on Zoom and we'll stand up sometimes and we'll do some moves and we might even dance a little. Hi, Deborah. Maybe at the end. Happiness, this such a famous word, so sought after, so discussed. All the great philosophers talk about it. Religions talk about it. Methods talk about it. What is happiness? What is happiness? Or let's ask, what is your definition of happiness? What is my definition of happiness? Might be very different from someone else. Hello, Linda. Thank you for joining us. Oh, I'm so envious. It's like completely daylight where you are. Today I was like dealing with the time zone. Can't the sun just be shining from somewhere like everywhere? And we all have the same time zone and just make it rain artificially. Just do something so we can all be in sync. What is your definition of happiness? If you feel like it, dot it in the chat box. Just what is my definition of happiness? If let's say someone comes down from planet Tokayarto and they do not know the word happiness and they ask you as a human being, what is happiness? What would you tell? And if you're watching the replay, just think about it. Because a lot of people, oh, Michelle, you're gonna get me all teary before we even start. The feeling you get in your heart, that sparkle, like doing something that brings joy. Happiness for me means peace of mind, health of body, and joy. Peace of mind, health of body, and joy. Love it. Happiness is doing the things you love to do. Okay. Very discussed. Some people say that happiness is knowing when you have enough. Is it? Some people say it's wanting what you have. I kind of like that one. Do you like that one? It's like wanting what you already have instead of, wanting what you can never have. And we all know which type wants what they can't have by now. So you are doomed, just like me. I like this one a lot. Live simply so others may simply live. For me, definitely also as a tidying expert. And I think an almost minimalist, except for me using a lot of bandwidth on the internet with streaming and stuff like that. Live simply so others may simply live. The definition, according to the Analogical disciplines by Stefano Benemeglio, is this. Happiness is pursuing one's dreams in complete freedom and at peace with one's conscience. Yeah, I like your little, put your hands in the air like you just don't care. A shout out to my wonderful co-speaker, Jenny, because she uses that a lot. Happiness is pursuing one's dreams in complete freedom and at peace with one's conscience. But what does that mean? Somebody want to tell what they get from that? Just what would that mean? Pursuing one's dream in complete freedom and at peace with one's conscience. Demiano, are you writing in the chat box? Yes. You can also unmute if you want. Contentment, yes. Just think about it for a while. So, hey, Danish girl with a weird name, what does that mean? We're all given different building blocks to construct or to create who we are, and just going through life, we have been given different building blocks. Do you agree on that? Like, not everybody has the same material. We live different places. And sometimes, in my opinion, that's just my opinion. I always say, if you can use what I say, take it. If you figure out that it's all wrong what I say, come back and tell me, and I will change my mind. Because I don't think we take that enough into account when we evaluate ourselves sometimes. No, our dream castle, they all look different. Our peer group, they all look different. So let's think about our building blocks for a moment. What was I given? And also the ones that are not there, that I think I was not given. As a vocal coach, but also as a consultant, I hear that a lot. If only, if I had, if he just, or if she just would be different, or if I just had, or if he just had, if you just had, if my mom just had, if my dad, or I should have done this, I should have done that. By now I love Tony Robbins, and he's like, you should all over yourself. And instead of should, just change that verb with can or want. Because should is such a, so just think about your building blocks for a second, and share in the chat box if you want, or on Facebook. If you're watching, thank you for joining. What is one of the most important building blocks that I have as a human being? Why am I who I am today? For Lykke, that could be my voice. So if I hadn't had the voice that I have, if I couldn't sing in tune, or I couldn't move, or I didn't have any rhythm, I would not have had the experiences that I had. So that is one of my big building blocks. Or it could also be the opposite, depends on how you see it. My vision. Michelle, would you mind just sharing a little bit more what that means?
So I'm also a graphic designer. So like beauty, being able to see things, right? As a KonMari consultant too, seeing the beauty in the house. So and then also being able to visualize like ideal lifestyle, or like it's very important for me to have like everything.
Thank you. That makes it so much clearer. Wonderful parents, grew up in a safe place. That is definitely I'd call like a fundamental building blocks, but it can also be the opposite. That's what I would want everyone to think about today, that not having or having great parents can be both, right? It depends on what we do with it and how we build on whatever it is that we have. Happiness is pursuing one's dreams in complete freedom and at peace with one's conscience. It sounds easy, right? Well, if you're free, if you have your dream and you pursue it, and it says pursuing. So not to pursue, make the dream come true, end, because that doesn't exist. Like if a man, what do you call a man without problems? Come on, you know that. Come on, girls. Come on, someone. What do you call a man without problems? Dead. Well, that's true. Let's go in with the dreams. Actually, start with freedom. What is freedom? What does it mean to be able to pursue your dreams in complete freedom? Does it even exist, freedom? Who thinks it exists? Hands in the air. Who thinks it does not exist? Hands in the air.
There are restrictions.
Well, I think it exists or not exist, to be or not to be. Move on. Freedom. First problem, or let's call it, we can call it hook, we can call it problem, attitude, doom, call it whatever you want. Problem is just the way that Stefano Benemelia defines it, and I literally just translated it into English. Freedom. The myth that is connected to that is Romeo and Julieta. Why is that? They had the dream. They were madly in love and wanted to be together, but they did not have the freedom to be able to be together. Does that make sense? So they wanted to pursue the dream. They were not free to do it because the parents was like, no, 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 you're not going to marry someone from that family. And on the other side, no, 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 you're not going to marry someone from that family. So two families opposing their dream. And this is the area of the dream problem. And as you know by now, our body does weird things that we didn't know anything about until recently, me included. It moves forwards, backwards on different kind of signs. And it also moves forwards or backwards on this gesture, if you use that on your chest. Linda, are you okay? She's like, no, she's going to add another one today. The crazy girl. Were you thinking that? See, I can almost read your mind now. What does it mean practically? Lack of freedom. It means that you have the dream. The dream is in your head. You can see it. You have the vision. You want it, but you're not free to do it. Someone or something, it doesn't have to be someone, is keeping you from pursuing your dream. Examples. Freedom. You're okay. So you have the skills, you have the tools, you have the possibility, you as a person, to be able to pursue your dreams. But someone or something is keeping you from pursuing them. Example. I want to be a lawyer, but in my family, everybody's a musician. So do not go to law school because in our family, we're musicians. Can you see how you laugh at that? Because obviously it's the other way around normally. Okay, I don't want to like make too many generalizations, but normally it would be the other way around. Do we agree on that? It's like, I want to be a musician. I want to be this. I want to be that. No, you go to law school or you do this, you do that. You have to study. Maybe a real case scenario. You want to be a nurse, but your mom worked all her life in the ER. So there's no way she's going to let you go through what she went through. So she thinks she's doing a good thing protecting you, but she is in the way of your dream. You don't know if she is or not. Nobody's judging. Remember that? Somebody wants to be a dancer and they have the perfect body to be a dancer, but they live far away. There might not be a dance school, so it doesn't have to be someone. It might be the parents that are super okay with it, but there's no possibility for you in that area where you live to become a dancer. Or you might not have the money to attend the school that you would want to go to. You might not have the time. You want to be a baker or cook, and your family or your spouse or your partner or your peer group tells you a baker, that's like you have to get up at 2:00 in the morning. That's ridiculous. Who wants to be a baker? It's like, oh, you little Gordon Ramsay, you, huh? And they start teasing you, and you end up not pursuing your dream as a baker because someone told you stuff. You want to become a fighter pilot, but you're a woman. So you can't, and they tell you can't because you might get pregnant, and then those G things, they're gonna mess up your pregnancy or whatever. So they tell you, sure, you have the skills and the tools and the abilities and everything, but you ain't gonna do it. It's changed, fortunately, now. So now girls can become, but I'm not really actually up to date. Are there anything that girls can't do that men can do by now? Anyone help me? Everybody's like, we don't know. Okay, we're gonna check that for the next time. Sorry. You might be you want to be a pianist, but you cannot afford a piano, or somebody doesn't want you to be a pianist because you cannot live being a musician. You want to become a web designer, but you live where there's no Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is like still 100 megabytes. I'm not sorry, Michelle, I might be screwing this up. It's like, but so literally in Italy, if I move 60 kilometers from here, I cannot do, if I would want to go back and live in the mountains, that I would actually love to, I cannot do my work because there's no internet that will keep a Zoom meeting going. So that's a dream. I would like to move away from the city maybe, and it can't happen because I'm not free to do it. Maybe you want to, what do we want to become? Come on, put a dream in there. What job do we want to do? Hello? Tap dancer. Yeah, I'm fascinated. Oh yeah, you can shout out, Linda. Okay, you want to become a tap dancer, but oh, actress. Yes, we love that. But your family has a huge company, and everybody expects you to take over the family business. So you're not free to pursue your dream. Let's try it and figure out who we are. Remember the area of your body, chest area. Okay, so if you put your hands here and you have to stand up and you move forward, that is your problem. It's not like the analogical types that you move forward on the opposite. Okay, so moving forward on this one, this is what belongs to you. Probably, of course. Okay, so please stand up, everybody. If you're watching at home, just stand up and feel your legs, connect to your body. Lower your shoulders. And then you slowly pat yourself on the body like that. If you want to move over so I can see you too. And you just feel if you move forwards or you move backwards. And then you hold them still.
In response to what?
To this stimulus.
It's the stimulus.
Yes, you do this. You can also do it like a scratch with the right hand, like this, just with one hand at the time. And just relax, connect to your body. So look at me, I will move forward on this one. There it is. Don't think too much about it. Try with the other hand too. So if you move forward right hand, freedom and realist. If you move forward left hand, scratching like this. Damian, were you able to see where you were moving? So like this. Go,
But
Deborah.
when you say moving, we're sensing which way our body sways, not necessarily moving, but which way our body may sway, left, right, or how. That's what we're paying attention to. Yes.
Deborah, you have to teach me to be more precise. So thank you for that. The professional teacher, thank you. So it's not moving. No, really, thank you, Deborah. It's a small swaying forwards or swaying backwards. Exactly. So moving. Did you feel it, Michelle?
I think I'm moving forward, but am I thinking about something or it just
No, you just feel the body and just feel if the body says yes, like this, it just moves forward slowly, or it says no.
what is it saying yes or no to?
Exactly. What thought do we have in our mind?
You don't have any thought in your mind. No thoughts. It's impossible, but try to feel your body as much as possible. Like just go down to your knees, your feet, feel your breath. And just be, okay, I have a body and it does react. And if you move forward, you will probably have experienced this in your life. It can be anything from something really small that we talked about, that there was no school that you wanted, or your parents, they chose your high school, they chose your teacher, they chose an instrument. Damian, did you see where you swayed?
Yes, it was actually really funny
Backwards or forwards?
when you showed like you can touch your chest like full on, and then you can scratch sides. It was like I was kind of feeling the swaying, and then I scratched and it was like
Okay. It's a little weird. I know it's a little weird in the beginning, but just think about it as something very natural. When you want something, an ice cream, something you just watch something beautiful, you're like, oh, you move forwards. Whereas if you don't want something, you move backwards.
yeah, it's natural movements. Actually, it's like magnets. Actually, it works with the plus and minus. It's basic
That is so
math.
Okay, so forget your body, forget thinking. It's basic math. Damien, I completely love that. It's basic math. Does that make sense, Linda? That gives me like a like a, what, how do you call it? Like a brain orgasm. It's basic math. Put this slide up because it takes a little bit of patience to feel your body and figure it all out. When we are with clients, so how can we use this? You ready? If I'm talking to someone and I talk like this, I know, let's say I know that type, okay? So I go like this. How are you today? Oh my gosh, I saw something yesterday, and they start moving forward like this. And it takes time, okay? It takes practice and blah, blah, blah. You have to practice. I will start talking about freedom, how whatever you want to sell your client, or whatever you want to teach, whatever message you want to convey, can be anything. Maybe you want to go out with someone. You present it as freedom, as traveling, as being independent, being a, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to forget everything. We're going to go on Route 66. Just, I'll get my motorbike and we'll just be free as bird. Can you see Damian? He's like, he can't stop smiling. So he probably has that problem. If you don't feel like attracted to that, you probably don't. So when I speak to someone like that, and that's also if I want to help them reach any kind of goal they want to reach, I will put my hands here. If they're stimulated triangle, I will do like this. And if they're stimulated sword, I can do like this. You can even do like, I think I have something stuck in my throat. That's a double, if anybody gets that. So I see weird faces. That's my own. Oh, that was my own. Sorry. If you could choose where to live, where would it be? Anywhere. If you could choose your job, what would you be doing? Anything. Would you have the freedom to do this? Just think about this. And if you go back in time, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, did I have the freedom to choose where I wanted to live? Did I have the freedom to choose my education, studies, job? Did someone tell me, oh, you shouldn't, oh, you should get a real, like a safe job. You can always get a job as this, that's this. Do not, no, because you never know what's going to happen. You want to have something that is safe. There's actually, there's some movies in Italy that are so funny about like a steady job, a safe position. Everything about freedom up until now. So someone or something made sure, just in probably the best intent, that you were not able to pursue your dream. Is it clear? Damian, do you want to share something that you are not? I might live in a country and they don't have 3D graphic design that I want to do. And before COVID, it wasn't online.
Well, actually, when you mentioned the schools and parents choosing for you and the future being told to you, I felt like I now realize that my parents are probably doing some experiment on me, because they actually didn't tell me anything. Like I didn't even like discuss with them. I was at like finishing my elementary school, and my mom said, like, you probably aren't going to continue studying these like languages and literature. So she showed me some schools, and I went to the high school of graphic media, and then I ended up on a college that I chose for myself, and parents actually didn't say anything. So it's like weird stepping into this field of actual freedom, but you actually don't know what the steps are. And that's what I actually doing. I'm like looking for the steps that has already been done, because I have no idea what I supposed to be doing, or you know what I mean here.
So maximum freedom can also be scary. True.
Yeah, is the accountability for everything you do. So freedom actually is responsibility in a sense. Yeah.
Love it. Thank you, Damian. Second problem, there's three. Dream. The myth is Dante and Beatrice, that you probably all know. So Dante was in love with Beatrice. That was a dream to conquer her love. But Beatrice was not in love with Dante. And fortunately, because that way he wrote his masterpiece that we can now all benefit from. The area of the body is the thighs of pelvis. So when you touch that area, the body will move forward. And in this case, no one is holding you back. You yourself are not sure that was one for you. If you're sufficient or has what it takes to reach your dream. Let's say you want to become a Formula Uno pilot, but you're 2 meters high. You can't fit in this thing. So there's no way it's going to happen. So it's your fault. It's your responsibility. Your parents like, oh, shoot. So your peers are like, I just wish I could do something, cut off your legs or something so you can fit in this little machine, because that's your dream. And there's just no way. Let's say you want to be a vet, but you're allergic to pet hairs. You call it pet hairs? Are they called hairs? Or like pet? Okay, we have a different word in Italian for hair and pet hair. So what's it going to be? Are you going to just deal with the allergies, not do it? It depends on you. It doesn't depend on someone from the outside. Your parents or your peers, your granddad, grandmom, yourself, you bought this wonderful piano. Your hands, they're just like this. This is just, people listen, you say, yeah, it sounds really good. But it's not true. You'll never be like a great pianist. Or same thing with singer. You want to sing, but it doesn't sound that good. Or people, they don't like your music. Other examples? You have what it takes to get into university financially, friends, parents, but you can't make it. You can't make it. You can't pass the bar exam. You can't pass the admission test. So it all depends on you. Same thing, you want to become a doctor or a nurse or something, and it's hard, it's tough, there's a lot to study, and you can't make it. You want to become a cook, nobody likes the food. And no matter what you do, nobody's coming to your restaurant. So it depends on you. You are the problem. It depends, there's not someone from the outside holding you back. You want to become a firefighter, but you want 60, and you just can't pull that thing. They have different physical tests. And you just can't do it. I had a vocal student. She wanted to become like local police, and she has to go on a motorbike, and she's 152 centimeters. I don't know what that is in feet. And she couldn't lift. She couldn't get on the thing. She passed all the tests, but she couldn't get on the thing. Thigh area. So please, one more. Stand up one more time, and let's see. And if you're watching on in the Facebook group, thank you for joining, and try it for yourselves. So you want to stand up, and let's say this is your pelvis, your thighs. You just do the same movement. That is perfect, Deborah. A little lower on your thighs. Yes. Yeah, like that. That is perfect. Just feel that movement and see if your body sways forward or backwards. And it doesn't have to mean that, that I'm not a success. It might mean that I have a dream that I still would like to pursue, or I have a couple. Maybe a couple failed and I went for something different. Can you feel it, Deborah? Maybe just hold them still. You're moving backwards or forwards? Forwards.
I think going like in a forward circle. As I go down, I go slightly forward, and then as the circle completes itself, I go back to the first position.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Then that's moving forward. So just think about it. If there's something you still want, if you still have the dream, or if there was something you did want to be. You know, we all have crazy dreams when we're kids, right? We want to be astronauts, and like 8 people out of whatever become astronauts. If
So
I
does
have
that mean that one should still, okay, so I need clarity. So does that mean that when you move forward, you should continue to pursue your dream even if it was a gazillion years ago?
if you still want it, okay, and everybody that knows the things are gonna watch carefully. Yes, of course. So Deborah, did you move backwards on this one?
I'm not sure about that one.
Okay, would you move over like this? Just turn around 90 degrees, 85, please, to be precise.
Is this good?
A little more, a little
To
more.
the left, to this way?
No, the other way. Do you have a question, Linda?
No, sorry, when you finished.
I'm just waving my pen around again.
No, I was trying to get it to move.
Okay, Deborah. So move around, stand like this. Yeah, don't look at the camera. Put your hands on your chest and just move them up and down slowly. Close your eyes and feel your body. And I can say freedom, Route 66, birds, and hold them still. Okay, backwards, right? When you hold them still, just follow your body wherever it moves, wherever it sways. I'm gonna use sway. Don't think about it. Deborah, I can see like you're thinking like crazy. Where's my body going? Where's my body going? It's like, you can't think about it.
I'm trying.
I know, you're doing a wonderful job. And at your thighs, down at your thighs. Yeah, you can also just hold them still and just feel it. Okay, now see, that is much clearer, right? You see that move forward. So that is it, Deborah. That is it for you. Okay.
So keep on keeping on.
Yes. Do you want to share? Did you have something like really big, a dream that you wanted? Did you want to become Tina Turner too, whatever?
No, I want to be Deborah Thomas #1.
Who's Deborah Thomas? Oh, the two.
It's my, I'm at the point in my life, I'm retiring, and I'm at the point of my life where I recognize that I still want to evolve. My life has not been bad. My life has been overall a good life, but I want better. I want more. My dilemma now, and I want to pursue, when I was in my 20s and 30s, I studied the craft of acting, hence the dance and the speaking. And I let that go, went through, life happened, and I went back to school to become a nurse and put those dreams, those artistic dreams, on the back burner. And now that I'm getting ready to retire, I don't know if it's, I don't know what the word to use. I don't know if I should go back and pursue what I really once wanted. Like I'm looking for my what next.
Okay, the hands in the air. Honestly, can you see Deborah as an actress, like acting anywhere? It can be a local theater, wherever she wants to pursue her dreams. I can totally see you. Totally. You have no problem standing in front of the camera. You're like, so I need clarity. So is this? This?
Acting is about everyday people. It's like, everybody, it's just a matter of you pursuing and practicing and getting. But anyway, enough.
But it's a really good example. Then I'll let you ask your question. Sorry, Linda, because there's no like judgment, or you have the dream problem. Simply, life happens. I had kids and I love my kids. I adore my kids, But you can't have two small kids and go off and do an opera in Milan at the Scala, even though you're capable and they want you. Or you can, I mean, it's difficult. So that's just to say freedom and dream. Linda, go with your question.
No, so what if you're moving backwards?
On both,
Yeah.
I'm saving the best for last, honey. You ready? Okay. Talking to a client, spouse, partner, friend, parents. Okay. If you know what problem, you know your parents, you know your kids, so you know what problem they have. So if you want them to do something or you want to help them, speak with the right language. Dream, imagine, imagination. So if I talk to Deborah, you know, I've been sitting here in front of the computer and I absolutely love teaching body language, but I also want to go back to flying because, you know, I haven't been flying for years and it was my dream. And she can connect to that because she knows what it means to put a dream in her. Because, okay, so that's where you can connect to people, have that rapport. And if you're honest, you can figure out what they are missing. And this is the language. Touching the pelvis area with the correct, of course, analogical type and hand. And we'll do the hands next time, left and right. Last one. And again, think about it just for a second. If you could choose where to live, where would it be? Anywhere. If you could choose your job, what would you be doing? Anything. Would you have the skills to do it? So if you have a dream, do you have the skills to do it? Or you're not free to do it? And here we go, Linda, last one. And then we're going to listen to Michelle talk about REIKI. Cannot wait. Conscience. The myth is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And we all know the two personalities. Do you ever get that in your head? Like, I always use the food example. I know, I'm sorry, but it's like, eat the chocolate bar, eat the chocolate bar. You deserve it. You deserve it. You're going to do a diet tomorrow. You're going to go walk tomorrow. Don't eat the chocolate bar. Don't eat the chocolate. You're not going to eat that chocolate bar. You're not going to fit in that. Okay, do you have those? Like, this is a little more serious. So it's X freedom problem, X dream problem. What does it mean? And the area is the front. I actually took this slide up because it is a tough part. Because it kind of, for me, when I first encountered, I want to call it encounter because it completely changed my life. The analogical disciplines, I figured out why is life so difficult to balance? Why is it so difficult to be happy? 3 out of 4 Americans, they very probably know a lot more, use drugs regularly that they probably shouldn't take. 3 out of 4 people feel lonely. 3 out of 4, that is crazy. Young people, so many young people, they do not take care of themselves in a healthy way. And they do not feel loved and so on. And this is why, because it's difficult to be free, to pursue your dream in peace with one's conscience. Conscience problem, X dream or X freedom, practically. So let's say I was not free to choose. I wanted to become a surfer or whatever you wanted to become. And my parents, my spouse, peers, whomever told me, oh, it's just the most stupid idea I've ever heard, surfing. What are you thinking about? So let's call him Brandon. He chose to be a surfer anyway. And after 8 years of struggling with surfing, he injures himself. And he cannot surf anymore. So he spent 8 years of his life, all his money, investing. What happens is that he starts thinking that dad and mom was right. I should have chosen something else. And here comes all the shoulds and shouldn't. Let's say he goes on because he wants to stay in that world. So he starts selling surfboards because he loves that world. He loves that environment. And whomever told him before that he shouldn't have done it, tell him again. And after 10 years that he's trying to sell surfboards, he goes bankrupt. And now 20 years have passed and he really thinks that mom and dad were right. And that's when you have the problem of conscience. You start to think that whomever held you back were right and that you should have listened if you didn't listen. I know it's a little complicated. Dream. That was for the freedom, freedom problem. Somebody told me I shouldn't have done it. I did it anyway, was a major failure. I get the problem of conscience. Dream. What is happiness for me? My values, kids, family, spending time with my family. My dream is to become a CEO, and I do. But in the meantime, I do not have time for my family. When my kid is 20, he or she comes to me and says, the best day of my life was when that one day when we went fishing. You were never there. You always gave me stuff, but you were never there. So you pursued your dream, you were free to, and able to do it, but it wasn't in peace with your conscience. And it didn't occur to you until it was too late. All parents say, like, enjoy your kids because they grow up so fast. And it's true, and you don't get it until it's too late. It's like they're out of here. And the X dream, I want to be the first person to find a skeleton in Mokabawi. What? Somebody says. Doesn't matter. I want to be the first person on the earth to find a skeleton in Mokabawi. I know there's a skeleton there. So you spend 10 years. Yeah, skeleton. Can you say that?
Skeleton.
Oh, what did I say? Skeleton?
Skeleton.
Thank you. It's like the skeleton dance. I know that. It's awesome. And you try and you try and you try and you try, and your parents or your spouse, your peers, like, just stop it. Just leave that dream alone. But no way, you're not giving up until you have to give up, because there are no skeletons in Mokabawi. And you start thinking that you should have done what they told you to. And that's why to be happy, no less than 50% of the time takes effort, because we have to be aware of all those things. Next Thursday, da-da-da-da, we're going to see how to make our sufferings our fuel for future successes. So these things that happen, I didn't make my dream, I wasn't free. How can we use that to fuel our dreams today? Any questions? And of course, if we had the freedom problem, or we have the liberty problem, who do you think we find as mates? Do you think we find someone that kind of like takes away our freedom if we have the freedom problem? Let's just think about it, okay? Let's leave it open. And if we have the dream problem, it might just be that we find someone that tells us that dreams are for kids. But we'll think about it until next time. Any questions so far? And then I'll leave you with Michelle. Linda, I know, yeah. What's in there? Oh, we have to try it. Oh my gosh. Stand up. Sorry. Last one. Yeah, stand up and just scratch with your right hand like this on your front, and then your left hand, and see if you move back forwards or backwards. I think I'm going to talk a little Danish. Ja, det er fint. Så bare med højre hånd.
I think I went back.
You're going backwards, Linda?
I went back on the right.
That's good news.
Okay.
Wait, so is it bad news to go forward?
No, it's not bad news because you're with me, so don't worry. We're all in the same boat together.
I'm not going back on the left. If anything, a little bit forward, but not really much.
And no, nothing here?
Well, on that one, I think I went back on that before originally.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah, I'm going back.
Yeah, that's definitely backwards.
Yeah, and I go back.
Okay, and then do with your left. Do you move forward with your left hand or with your right hand? Normally, if you count money on at your side.
I don't know. Let's have a look.
What do you mean you don't know?
Forward.
Okay, then do your right hand. Scratch your right hand, forehead.
Backwards.
Okay, then do the whole hand like this.
Backwards.
Okay. Okay, then it's the thighs, Linda. It's just that you don't move that much. That's super good.
Okay.
Damian, how are you doing? Super. What does that mean? Did you move forwards here? Is bad news.
I moved backwards on my right side and slightly backwards on the left side.
Good news. Deborah? Oh, sorry, you're muted. No, of course it's not bad news. I'm just kidding with that.
I'm not sure what I did. I
Do you want to
know I
try?
did the stand still.
Do you want to try?
You want me to stand up and try?
Uh-huh. Okay, I'll do it. Okay, just watch me. I'm trying not to think. And the other one, Deborah? Okay, scratch a little more. You're kind of like caressing. Okay, let's do another test. Deborah, just move over to one side. Just look the other way, or one way or the other. Last one, then we're gonna move. Just move your body around 90 degrees.
Like this, just
I'm
turn.
gonna give you a compliment and a non-compliment. Okay. So Deborah, you look fantastic today. Oh my gosh, you look fantastic. Just feel if your body moves forward or backward. You look fantastic. Absolutely stunning. Incredible look that you have today. You look so good. Did you see how she moved backwards in the beginning? Deborah, you know, you have your hair all set and then you just put on a black dress. Maybe, you know, a dress with a little more color in it would have been nice. Just, you know, pump it up a little. You see, Deborah, how we let me know.
Myself go to the left slightly.
When I told you that I should have done something different. That's why, you know, so many people they tell you to give people compliments.
Yes. Okay.
It doesn't work with everybody.
May I ask a quick question?
Yes.
So the 3 different exercises that we did with the head, shoulders, and the thighs, do they all give off the same information?
They tell you where, how do you say, like your minority is. So that is where I have been limited. So if I have the dream problem, I need to work on myself, my confidence, be like, look, you can do it. You can become a singer. You can sing in pitch. You can do it. You have the skills. Or I need to change my dream. If I sing out of tune or I don't have the body to become a dancer, I need to find a different dream. If I don't want to get depressed, if I don't want to feel that my life just, I'm 60, what did I do with my life? You wouldn't believe in the courses that I do. How many people they find themselves at 60s like, where did it all go? It happens so
Tell
fast.
me about it.
Yeah, and it goes for me too. We're all in the same boat. If I have the freedom problem, so I'm gonna share like a private thing. Look at two boys, right? Love my boys. Can finally, last boy is gonna go to university. Bye. Okay, 2 years ago, mommy, can I have a dog? No. Mommy, can I have a dog? No. Look at, please, can I have a dog? No. Can I have a dog? See, watch this husky. Is he cute? Oh, yes, of course you can have a dog. And who's Lykke gonna end up with now? the dog, right? Now that I could have moved over here, or I could have changed my job, I could have moved from the apartment to somewhere else. Now I can't. So I also go looking for my problem, Deborah. And that's why people, I always end up in the same situation. I changed this, I changed that, I changed all the parameters, and I still have the same result. Because if you're not aware of it, that's where you're gonna go bang your head. Does it make sense?
I don't want to take up time. I'm still not clear, but I'm okay.
Good. We'll talk about it.
I've always been a slow learner, always have to work twice as hard. And I'm okay with that.
That's something someone told you, Deborah. It's probably not true.
No.
No. I'm going to just, you know what? Even though you're a sword, I'm going to be a sword to you, Deborah. That is so not true. Okay? That is not true. I'm going to mute you, and I'm just going to tell you it's not true. You know what you are? You're a diligent learner. You want to understand, and you want to go deep. So tell those people that told you that you were a slow learner that ain't true. And if you're telling yourself, don't tell yourself that anymore. I will get in your face if you do. You want to understand. You want to you want to grab the whole thing, grasp it and be like, put it into practice. That is being diligent. That is being a wonderful learner. So no, and there really are no slow learners. It's just learning, everyone in your own pace. Okay, Michelle, would you please tell us how we pronounce your last name?
It's Shinagawa.
Shinagawa. I tried my best. Master Reiki teacher, KonMari consultant, relationship coach. She's going to talk to us about energy, Reiki. And without further ado, thank you, Michelle, for joining. So happy to have you.
Yeah, thank you. That was very interesting. I'm still kind of like, okay, so I went forward every time I said about news. That's where I am. And it was very interesting to learn how, just by touching part of the body, it just moves automatically. So thank you. And I did take your body language class. And I was like, this morning, I'm like, oh, wait, I'm presenting in front of a professional presenter. What body language do I need to put in? And because it's been a few months, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just going to give up, trying to remember what I learned and incorporate it. So please forgive me. Anyway, so let's start now. So do you ever feel energetically tired after working with your client? Thank you. Okay, thank you. And I'm assuming all of you work with people. Am I correct? Do you guys work with people? Yes. Okay, thank you. And Damien, do you work with people, or you just create like 3D things at home?
Well, I try, but I'm having troubles finding clients for my certification. I'm just starting.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you're in the you just finished the training and you're working on looking for clients. Got it. Okay, so this information will help you when you find a client, when you're working with some people. Okay, thank you. And but even if you're not working with client, do you have anyone in your life that may just suck air out of you? Like you're like, oh my God, why did I talk to those people? Does any of you have anyone like that? Or, okay, thank you. And some of you are probably lucky enough not to have those people, right? You're like, okay, goodbye. And you live in your happy dream life. And is any of you affected by energy of other people? Like if they come to you and they're like, I had a really tough day. And then like at the end of talking, thank you, you're kind of like, oh God, I'm drained too. What happened? Especially during pandemic, right? It seemed like where everyone else, like the whole world was feeling down, a lot of us are affected. So have any of you heard of this method called Reiki? Anyone in here has heard of Reiki? Oh, great. Okay. So,
sure.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, so maybe I could just say, okay, this is it with my presentation. Are any of you Reiki practitioner? Okay, you are. Okay, makes sense because a lot of my students are nurse or nurse teachers too. So okay, so are you're a practitioner? Do you teach Reiki? Deborah?
I've just learned it, and right before I got, when I got certified, shortly after that, the pandemic hit, and I really have gotten away from it. I have not practiced in over a year.
Oh, got it. Okay, so perfect. This could maybe give you some refresher. If not, at least you have one thing that you can take with you. Thank you. So I started using Reiki for my dog. I was a crazy dog mother, and my dog used to limp around the house when he was 6 years old, and he had arthritis. And I'm like, oh, and then I talked to my friend, and she's like, oh, I'm taking this Reiki class, and it's supposed to help with humans' arthritis. Maybe it will help with your dog too. And I'm like, oh, sign me up. And it was amazing that after I took the class and I gave him little sessions, and then pretty soon after that, he stopped limping. He stopped limping for 6 years after that. So from 6 years old to 12 years old. So I'm like, okay, cool. And I thought I just did it for my dog. And, but this actually started me on a journey of this whole spiritual journey for me. Because I didn't know, like a lot of people, and maybe, it seems like all of you have heard of Reiki, and you probably have heard that it works to help with your body, right? Like it works to heal your body or works, but not many people know that it works mentally and spiritually as well as physical. So that part of it, I didn't know when I signed up. And actually that's what I needed. So I think my dog guided me there. So I used to be really shy and sensitive to other people's energy. I mean, like I had no confidence that I'll be in front of like 5 of my friends, right? And they're like, so what do you think, Michelle? And I'm like, I'll be like choking up. I'm like, I couldn't even talk in front of 5 people. And if it weren't for Reiki, I would never became a public speaker. And now, I still get nervous, and I probably should learn more from you. But now I speak in front of like 70 people or 100 people, and I'm okay. I could do it. So who here is sensitive to the energy around you? Has any of you walked into a room and you're like, ooh, did any of you have that kind of feeling? Okay, thank you. Yeah, like sometimes you walk into a hotel room or you just walk into like any room, right? Classroom or anything. It's like, oh. So people who can pick up that kind of energy, or it could be with other people, right? Like I think a lot of you at some point raise your hand about being sensitive to some energy. People like us who's sensitive, we tend to close down because we got tired of picking up other people's energy or the room's energy. And we don't want to be affected by that. The problem is that when we close down, then we block the unwanted energy as well as tuning into ourselves or the good energy, right? So the thing is, the problem we have is that we still pick up other people's energy, right? It's like, oh, I'm just gonna block everything. I don't want to deal with it. And then we think we blocked it, but then we go home, it's like, oh my God, I feel so drained. So what if you are centered and grounded and you can tune into yourself and you can still be sensitive, but you don't get knocked over by other people's stuff and not have all these like baggage of other people's energy behind you? What if you could just brush them off, whatever comes your way? Would you like that? And would you like to learn that? Thank you. So it works well for those of you. If you're like, oh, I'm not that sensitive, it also works for you too. Because most of us are affected by the energy. And often we don't know that we're affected by it, right? Some days, like we come home, or nowadays we just work on Zoom. So maybe you're just like there all day. It's like, oh, I feel so cranky, or like, oh, I'm tired. And it may just be because you picked up other people's energy, but you just don't know it. So just go along with me for those of you who are like, I'm not that sensitive. So maybe can I explain what Reiki is first before I share with you the technique? I know that Deborah probably knows more than I do, but let me. So Reiki is a life force energy that we're surrounded by. So it's everywhere, like in my room, your room, anywhere. So have you ever had a headache and you just put your hands on and you're like, oh, I have a headache. Do you do that? Yeah, thank you. And have you ever like ate way too much food and you like put your hand on there and be like, I ate so much. Oh yeah, none of you ate too much, right? So the thing is, we're using Reiki unconsciously. Whenever we have a pain, we put our hands over there to relieve the pain. We just don't know it. And what I do is I teach a system of Reiki so that you could actually use them. So like I said, it works with your body. So it increases your immune system, it gives you more energy. And what's so great is that it gives you more energy as well as it gives you relaxation. So the first time I ever had a Reiki session, it was amazing because most of the time I go get massage and I'm like all relaxed and want to go to bed and I have no energy to go home, right? Have you ever had that? You get out of the massage table and it's like, oh, I don't want to go anywhere. But when I got off of the Reiki table, I was like, oh, I'm so relaxed and energized at the same time. So it varies people to people, but most people feel relaxed and energized at the same time. And I don't know in each of the different countries that you live in, but at least in US, and Deborah knows probably pretty well that Reiki is used at hospitals. And I don't work for the hospital, but I often get commissioned by my client's family member who's like, oh, my dad just had the surgery. Can he receive Reiki? So I do Reiki sessions for those people who is in ICU or who just came out of a hospital or who just came out of surgery. So it's widely accepted in US and it's different for each country. So there's that part of working with the body. And then as I mentioned before, mental and spiritual. So most of the people who comes to my Reiki session, their biggest complaint of my clients are either anxiety or fear or feeling lost. And you can see how that could be a big problem past year, right? During pandemic, when we don't know what's going on, especially I live in New York, and Deborah probably know really well how people were over here, but like anywhere in the world. But even before that, the biggest complaint most people have are anxiety and fear and feeling lost. And when they're done with the session, and nowadays, right, it's done on Zoom, so they don't even have to like leave the room to get out to the hustle and bustle of New York City. And when we close the Zoom room, they're all like, they come in like, oh, I don't know. And they're like all lost and helpless and hopeless and depressed. And when they leave, they're like, okay, thank you. So the Reiki can release the anxiety or fear or like all the things that that we have in our mind. And then also it works with the energy. So there are many techniques within the system Reiki. And I wanted to share with you one of the techniques that I teach, like one of the first things I teach in a Reiki class that helps you be centered and grounded and you can brush off other people's energy. So are you guys ready to learn that? Okay. And what's so great about it is that it's so simple that anyone can learn. So I'm just going to show you how to do it and then we're going to do it together. So just watch me and maybe I need to tilt a little bit more so you can see me better. Okay. So it just goes like this and just watch me. And that's it. So are you guys ready to do this with me? I'm going to guide you. You bring your right hand over to the left shoulder. And yeah, if you understand that you could be doing it sitting down. Either way works too. So right hand over to the left shoulder and you go crosswise through the torso. Yeah. And then now left hand over to the right. Same thing, just brush it off through your torso. And now right hand back to the left. One more time. Yes. And the left hand out. Now bring your left hand out. And now bring your right hand over to your shoulder and brush it down. And now the right hand over to the left, right hand flipped up and left hand over to the right, all the way to the fingertips. And now the last one, right hand all the way through the fingertips. So that is it. It's pretty simple, right? So I want to do this couple times with you because the thing that most people get confused is that it's not even numbers. It's 3 times, right? It's 3 times twice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that way it'll be easy for your brain. Are you guys ready to do it again? Bring your right hand over to the left. 1, 2, 3. Now left hand out. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now you got this part down. I would like you to add the breath if you can. And if it's too complicated, don't worry about it. But if you can, now bring your right hand over to the left and breathe in and breathe out as you breath through. Now left hand over to the right, breathe in and breathe out as you breath through. Now right hand over to the left again, breathe in, breathe out. Now left hand out, breathe in, breathe out. Right hand out, breathe in, breathe out, and breathing in and breathing out. Okay, thank you. All right, was it difficult? No, right? It's so simple and so easy to remember. So what it does is it activates your meridian, which is your invisible energy pathway that runs through your body. And it also brushes off your excess energy. So you can connect and ground yourself. And it brushes off any icky energy that you may pick up. So I don't know about where you guys are, but where me and Deborah lives, there's subway. I don't take them right now, but there's a whole bunch of funky energy there, right, Deborah? So I would just do this. I mean, in New York, no one sees, like, if I do this, I do it all the time on the subway. I don't write them right now, but when I used to, people don't care what I'm doing, but it just like relieves all the weird energy. You can also use it when you are like, you just had like a very bad argument or even like a quick argument with your friends or your family member, right? You're like, you're like huffing and puffing. Then you can just say, give me 1 second. And then you go to the next room. Yeah, that's it, Linda. Yeah, you go like that and just get rid of that excess energy because you know the worst thing that you can do when you're having an argument is to be heated up and tell them all the things that you never wanna, you wanna retract back, right? So by doing this, you can get rid of it and then you can also be centered and grounded. If any of you do meditation, that's another great thing. You can do this and get rid of your excess energy and then feel centered and grounded, and you can do your meditation. And then for those of us who sees clients, we can use this beforehand so that we're centered and grounded, and then we can actually use them afterward. So for some of us who are KonMari consultants, who goes into someone else's home, we could be picking up a whole lot of stuff, right? And then Deborah, I don't know if you just teach or if you actually do go into like hospitals or doctor's place, but if you actually do like nursing stuff, but in between patients, some of my students are nurses and they use this technique in between the rooms because there's a lot of energy, right? At the hospital or at the doctor's office. And then when Damien, I can only say it in American pronunciation, but once you start to go into people's home, then, there's a lot of energy that goes in there. with like letting go of attachment. So, and I'm sorry, Linda, I'm not sure exactly what you do, but I'm sure you can use it when you have an argument, just like what you did. So those are the places that you could use them, and like many other places that you can be creative, be like, oh my God, oh yes, Damien.
I have this one question about this. Like you were cleaning this area,
Mm-hmm.
and I've heard like a while ago that your energy also is on the back of your head.
Mm-hmm.
And that women have it easier with like maintaining the energy field when I simplify it. But when I was like at one like ceremony and there was this woman practicing, she like was switching between people, and after each one she had long hair, she had to brush it, get ready for the next one, and I felt like I'm growing my hair, so I feel more content. I feel that the energy field is inside, because earlier I had like really short hair, cut it really often, and it was like flowing out. I was constantly like being drained, but now I feel like I have my like storage of energy, which like
Nice.
helps me out, and I think it's like this powerful energy. I think it's very real.
Yeah, so that's like your extra battery charged in here, right?
Yeah. So I just wanted to ask about your opinion on this.
Yeah, actually, a lot of spiritual people, they don't cut their hair because they consider hair to have spirit. So I personally, don't go with that. I mean, with what I've been told with Reiki, it's abundant. Right. So one of the things that's amazing about Reiki is we don't need to generate it ourselves. And I think it's great that you have that, right, extra charge with you. You're carrying your battery pack with you. And I think if it works for you, that's great. And for me, I can always tap into the abundant energy that's out here. So I'm not too concerned about having lack of energy. Does it answer your question?
Yeah, I think it's perfect, like being connected to like this like this.
Yeah, and then if anything, right? When like, I mean, you could just imagine the Reiki energy coming into you. Sorry, today I don't have that much time to talk about other components of it, but that's like, what we do. And so you can just imagine like, okay, so the energy is going into your reserve portion over there, right? If you're going to go into somewhere that's going to be like a little bit harder for you to go into, then you could just do that and then feel like, all right, I got my armor right here in my hair. And you also know that you could just brush off like anything that comes your way too.
Perfect.
Thank you. So I just want to do one thing. Are there anything for all of you that just like that you want to release, that you want to get rid of? Like, are there any negative thought? I don't know, maybe you just had an argument earlier today, or just there's a whole thing of pandemic, maybe you used to have like a little bit in your energy. Are there, can all of you think of something that you want to just let go? Thank you. Okay. So then
Can we let it go of ourselves? Like, there's always me, right? Left if there's nobody else. Can I ask a question before, Michelle? So what's the reason you do twice left hand, right? Is that because of the heart? Yeah, but why do you do like twice on one?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. So I've been asked that question many times, and there's no real answer, but 3 is a magical number. And it's originated in Japan.
Okay.
So they're
very about the law of threes. So I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, there are 3, like often things are done in 3. And then also it came from Japan where like they're very ritualistic. They don't make things simple. So, it started in 1920s in Japan. So I have a feeling that they wanted to make it a little bit more elaborate. And then also like some other people said like, oh, just in case if you forgot, like you got the extra.
Okay, because in the Gurdjieff teaching, there's like three, there's the wholly affirming, wholly denying, and wholly reconciling, and it makes sense to. And I must say, I felt better. I'm not just saying that. I swear, I felt like I'm gonna do that again, sure.
Yeah. So what I would like to do is just have you just think of something, right? And can we do this together? So I'm just gonna say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And we're going to release whatever is on your mind that you want to release. And if you want to add breath, great. If that's too complicated, just do the motion with your hands. Are you ladies? I'm sorry. Are you guys all ready? Okay. All right. Take a nice deep breath in. And 1, 2, 3. Left hand out. 1, 2, 3. And let's do it one more time so you can just get rid of whatever was there for you. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. How do you all feel? Good. Okay. So what I would like to do is just have you come up with one word that, like, the feeling that you want to take home with after this, or the one word that you feel that you want to keep feeling. What would that be? And you can put it in the chat, or you can just tell me or tell us. Light.
Thanks, put the light on.
Yes, what did you say, Linda?
Hi.
No, I felt really light, and then I clicked my husband to put the light on.
He heard you.
I feel light, but actually it's
It's like, miracle, you get the light.
Well, that is conscious communication.
Yes, and quiet mind.
I
Okay.
felt all the way through it a really strong tingling sensation from when we first did it.
Yeah.
Which
So go ahead.
I just don't think is normal. I mean, wouldn't normally feel a tingling sensation.
Yeah, great. So that's because it's a meridian line. So not everyone feels same, right? Some people are more sensitive to the energy than others, but you are actually activating those energy. So with the time I had, I can only share one thing today, but I made sure I brought you something that you can use for the rest of your life. So just like brushing teeth, right? I do this all the time. If I'm like, oh my God, I have so much to do, brush it off and just keep moving instead of like, like we spend so much time like thinking about doing something, right? Just do it. But in order to do it, you may need to activate yourself. So hopefully you use it well for the rest of your life.
Thank you so much, Miseya. Deborah wrote, I am joy. And I actually felt that too, but I also felt kind of like a protection or something that closed. So it was really, really wonderful. Michelle, I'm going to definitely ask you if you have a course sooner or later and want to join, want to know more, or maybe you can come back and speak, which would be awesome. So we can get more. But thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Anybody else has any questions? If not, we will sign off.
Just, Lykke, if you could just tell me, I moved backwards earlier. I didn't, what did it mean?
On which one?
I think on all of them, pretty much.
You have to do this more. I think I'm going to really try to just...
I have to do that more. That's really positive.
No, because if every time there's something that aligns with the disciplines or you can combine it, it can only enhance the result. So if you have that awareness of your problem and your type, and then you work with the body, because it's so difficult for us to, nobody teaches us to be in our body. They only teach us to be up here. even, as kids, if we fall or we hurt ourselves, that is nothing. Or they give, like they blame the table. What a stupid table. Like when you hit yourself, it's like it was about the table. So we never learned that. And I think but of course it's useful. It's famous all over the world. So Michelle, if you want to come back and talk, that would be wonderful. Linda, so you move backwards on which one?
I think pretty much all of them. Didn't I?
Are we talking about the problems now?
Yeah, the head, the touching the head and the chest and the thighs.
Okay, stand up. That way we can repeat it for our homies. Michelle, if you want, anybody want to stand up? If not, it's cool. So just pat your hands here slightly.
Actually, I've gone forward.
Well, yeah, we can kind of see it.
It was the Reiki.
No, it's the light. Yes. Oh, okay. And on your thighs, slightly pat. Yes. Okay. But Linda, it really could be though. I know we're kidding, but the Reiki could have like aligned your energy so they're not as confusing. So now you can feel it. Just do the last one to be sure. Okay, good news. And with the left one also? Yes. Okay, that's nice. So moving forward on freedom. Does it make sense, Linda? If you think about when you were young, what school you chose, did someone, and really, it's so important for me that there's no judgment. I'm a parent myself. It's so difficult to be a good parent and see your kids. And it goes the other way around because it's always the kids that are kind of like, oh, my mom, oh, my dad. But what happens, Damian, is that the kids have trouble, seeing who the parents are, because the kids watch the parent as a parent, but they don't see like the whole picture. The parent, they used to go out dancing. They used to go out and do fun stuff, not to say stupid stuff. And, as a kid, so it goes both ways. So does it make sense, Linda?
I'll have a think about it. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. For me, definitely, I wanted to become, a dancer and actress. There wasn't like, dance school. There was, but there wasn't like an academy I had to go to Copenhagen if I wanted to do something real big. It's not like you move away when you're 14 from home and just go do whatever you want. That's the orthostatic position that we've talked about so many times. I saw a raised hand.
Hey, I had one short note on the self-maintenance, especially like I found out recently using products for skin, especially for hands, because after washing the dishes, I have the problem with the skin sort of being tired, and so applying some kind of cream, I figured some like really powerful releasing of energies, but I was like fiddling with my fingers and then going on the palm and sort of just like figuring out which place feels good. And it's just like the best self massage you can do, like a reward after the dishes, So I just
I need one of them.
I'm gonna solve all my problems. My dishwasher broke down and I have to wash this, and I'm just gonna go apply cream and
Yes.
just you make it sound like it's really something wonderful. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I think it's also very simple.
And it's also the théâtre, right? That Marie talks about, that we have to transfer the energy to our clothes when we fold them. Deborah Marie says to pass your hands on your clothes, to love them, and to kind of like, because they do take care of you. And it's called théâtre, right, Michelle? You say that much better than I do. The théâtre actually means applying hands, right?
Yeah.
I was stunned by the thing that you said, because the body language does, it's like, oh my gosh, my head, and you do apply your hands to where it hurts.
Right. True. I have one quick question. If Damien is done. Is that okay? Okay. So currently, right, as I'm very curious to hear from the body language teacher as well as the rest of you, but currently I'm on top of a stepper. And I've never led it from there. But I'm just wondering, like, does it make it more unstable, or like, you know, like I'm on a stepper in case what is stepper?
Oh, you're on it right now, literally?
I am, yeah. And
yeah,
I was
definitely step down from the stepper when you do the test.
no, not during the test, but when I'm teaching, like, does it make me any less stable?
No, I didn't know that you were on a step. I think it's amazing. You do like your lymphatic system. Let's do that. So next time everybody's on a stepper or a bouncing thing, a little ball. I have those in the studio. Oh, when I teach vocals, Michelle, I have them either do the ball or the bouncing or the, how do you say, the balancing board with a little house underneath.
Oh, okay, cool. I was just curious. I'm, you know, like when I'm teaching, I'm not stepping on it, but when I'm listening, I'm like, I was listening to you and I was stepping on it, and you know, most of my people don't know.
Did anybody notice? No, so totally fine.
So when you were giving your presentation at the same time you were stepping?
Well, I can just stop it, so I'm on top of a stepper, but I'm not.
But you're not
stepping.
moving. You're not
I'm
moving.
not moving it. Right.
Oh, okay.
But
when someone else was talking, you moved.
Right, I was stepping it. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was just curious, like, you know, I wanted to do it this way, but I wanted to make sure that I don't look so unstable and like.
You look perfectly.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I didn't notice anything. Yeah.
Cool.
Loved it, and I want to hear more. So. Okay.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, everybody, for joining, and on Facebook too. Spoiler, next week, we're going to talk about, hold on. I'm going to say it right, hopefully. Love hunger. We're going to do how we can do, like, we're going to try, if it's possible, I hope so, to do like literally a session where we talk with our subconscious to use the dream and freedom problem as fuel for future dreams and pursuing our dreams. And then Elizabeth Reed is going to talk about love hunger, discovering the link between self-love and healthy body weight. I'm not going to be there for that session about body weight and diet, so I hope it's going to be great. And with that said,